Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2005 here in TEW 2020 as it's time for the Great American Bash. As part of the 31 days of May, we're 22 days in, so let's get rolling. As we are live from the beautiful Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. It's June, it's hot outside, but it's cool inside the Georgia Dome as we've got a crowd of nearly 41,000 people, a little under 40,000 here for the Bash as starts up with our opening video, going over, of course, the big matches of the show. The Tricia, Skye, Gail, Kim, Iron Woman match, the big tag title rematch for the America's Most Wanted against Awesom and Storm, who now have, all the titles almost. No, they have all the titles except, well, I guess the women's title, but because they aren't part of that. And, of course, the big main event, and the big four-way match where, of course, the winner will go into the Mayhem tournament this August with the #1 seed and a bye in the first round. And the loser will not be part of the tournament at all. And then, finally, our big main event, Booker T, Billy Kidman for the WCW World Championship. And that opening video gets an 86 as we have sort of a hot show as we move on to our first match of the evening. And that's Paul London taking on Cash here. And of course, this match was made because, these two men were involved in a tag match, also involving Jamie Knoble and Ken Anderson. And basically, they got, faced off against each other and they started fighting and they just want to prove who's the better man and who is truly the man who's truly at the cusp of rising to the top of the company here on Revolution. Of course, Cash is a former Cruiserweight champion, was part of Silver City Rollers with Reno, part of Helm Legacy. Paul London has been, a consistent rising young star here, first part of the Cruiserweight division and a former U.S. champion. But, they both, been a little bit outside of the top tier of the singles competition here in WCW, and they just go all at each other. And, this is not, what you would call a, this is not a, it's a good match psychology, but this is a move match. There's two guys throwing everything they want at each other, going over and over after each other, and they have really good chemistry. So, we get lots of reversals, lots of big moves, making you do drivers, cradle pile drivers, sunset flip power bombs, top rope runners from both, big dives from London on the Cash using his bullyweight character to hit a few big suplexes on London, but London fighting out of it, hitting a sort of big cross body, picking him up, going for a modified tombstone, but London reversing it into one of his own for a near fall, hitting a side moonsault, Cash getting a near fall off of that, going for the dead level, but London, sort of blocking it. Both men continuing to fight. London hitting a few big moves, including a tornado DDT, going up top for the sunset shooting star press, but Cash getting his knees up. Eventually, Cash taking over, hitting a few big moves, going up top and actually picking Cash up with him, turning into a top rope Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Then Cash going for his finisher, but London getting out of it, hitting another few big moves. But again, as he goes for the shooting star press, Cash gets his knees up, goes for a quick cradle for a near fall, but then Cash goes for the make sissy here as he pulls London up, picks him up for a top rope power bomb, but Paul London turns it into a top rope Rana, quickly scrambles back up top, and hits the London Calling shooting star press for the win here in a little under 20 minutes as we start out with a banger here at the Great American Bash as it gets an 78, which is a little bit disappointing because Cash got an 83 and London got an 89. And as they have really good chemistry, the thing here was the color commentary and also a bit of stamina. So yeah, I'm going to basically say they basically maybe botched a couple moves late, not quite full botchamania botches, but just a little bit. Oh, we're redoing a spot, or we're sort of standing here a little too long, getting ready for the spot. But it's a really good match to open things up, and Paul London gets the big win here at the Great American Bash. And post match, he celebrates to the crowd as just put over. This might be his moment to finally rise in competition as we're coming up on the Mayhem tournament, and of course the long road to Starrcade. And then after that, we have the 6 women come out. Our next up is our big 6 women match as last month. Captivation, basically, not last month, but last week, Captivation beat, won a 6-man match. And basically, we're celebrating when Roni Jonah and Lyla Vivaz said they would have a 6-woman to face them off on a 6-woman match. So let's get to that. Of course, first the heels come out, to the boos of the crowd. We have 2 former women's world champion, of course, and Lizzie Dumas, who's of course been a star in this business for a while. Lyla Vivaz and Roni Jonah are both young wrestlers who have been here for the past couple of months since the expansion of the women's division on Revolution. And they come out and basically say, they've, they're young in this business, but they still fought all over. And one of the women they met as they were fighting is now ready here to be on WCW. Lyla says, they teamed up or were very successful together in the Southwest. And now she's here. She's a fighter, she's a spark plug, and she's ready to take the fight to Captivation. Please welcome Desiree Dawkins. And out comes basically Kim Nielsen, Desire. In real life, she basically wrestled on TNA for a while, but sort of disappeared, but she's still here, so we're using her as we go. We have her announced. Of course, she's not that over, so this only gets 836. Not the biggest thing, but still want to do a quick segment to actually bring her out. And now it's on to the actual match. And it's not the best match ever. It's a solid match. It is Dawkins comes in and she's a spark, she's a fighter, and she goes right after all three women, sort of scattering the ring. Eventually heels take back over. Fox gets some big kicks in. James comes in, do some heel work on Lyla Vivaz, who plays, babyface in peril. Vivaz eventually fights out, hits a backdrop, hits a, sort of quick sunset flip from near fall, goes back on offense, eventually tags in Desiree Dawkins, who, gets a little bit of offense here. But eventually she falls victim too, and she gets placed in fair for a couple minutes before reversing a attempt at blocking the Lexi DT from Lexi James into a Northern Line suplex for near fall, scrambles over, tags in Roni Jonah, who's House of Fire. She actually hits a few big moves and actually hits a big slam, then goes for the stage dive splash onto Lexi James, but Lexi gets her knees up, takes on over, things eventually break down. And what happens near the end is as everybody is brawling, Dawkins and Vivaz are both in the ring with Dumas, who sort of played heel, top heel on the outside, they're telling Lexi and Angel Fox what to do. But eventually Desiree goes after Lizzie. Lizzie gets out of the way, and Desiree Dawkins nails Vivaz with a big, basically running clothesline, lyrics the hell out of her. Lizzie throws Dawkins to the outside, climbs up top, moonsault of doom, 1, 2, 3, and Captivation picks up the victory here at Great American Bash. Like I said, not the best match, only 56, but as we see here, Lexi James gets a 51, Lizzie Dumas gets a 68, Angel Fox gets a 63. I'm really going to have to look in, what happened to Lexi James, because, her and Fox were about even. I don't think I dropped her out that much, but I'll double check, their overness and everything. Anyway, Lyla Vivaz gets a 42, Roni Jonah gets a 39, and in her debut, Desiree Dawkins is a 39, which isn't bad at all. But yeah, solid, sort of undercard here. Put over Captivation as sort of, top-level heels again, because I had sort of, had this in the morass of, sort of the women's mid-card. And, yeah. But here, a big victory here. What's more interesting is what happens in the post-match. As, basically, the heels leave, as, Roni helps up Lyla, and then Desiree drops them both with a big lariat at the same time, kicks them out of both, and then walks to the back to the mostly boos of the crowd. As, the announcers put over, I guess, Desiree Dawkins took advantage of her former friends here, and now she's in the WCW Women's Division. Or maybe she just got upset, as, Savage tries to play, sort of our, what's what I'm looking for here? As Savage, sort of plays, devil's advocate. But yeah, solid little angle here, nothing too fancy, but just a way to put over, hey, the women seem to be not be happy with each other. And then move on to what's up next, which is basically a Bash at the Beach commercial, basically putting over, we get some, there's a beach scene, there's some random women, but we see, Heart Legacy, Matt Sydal, Bill Goldberg, Sean O'Hare, and it's Bash at the Beach. It's a Nitro exclusive show, and it's coming up next month, so there you go. And next up is a big blow off here as Ken Anderson takes on Jamie Knoble in an I Quit match. Of course, Anderson came up to Revolution, a little while back, and has sort of been raised the ire of Jamie Knoble almost ever since then. Anderson basically, Knoble basically thinks Anderson isn't respecting the veteran president like him. Anderson is a bit of a jerk and an asshole, though, even though the fans love him, and, has been continually taking the fight to Knoble. And now, they had a shot to be on the summary card, but blew it after fighting. Nothing to do with me overbooking that show at all, not at all. And now they're set here for an I Quit match. And here's what I want to say here is I think there's a difference between a submission match and an I Quit match. A submission match is two technical wrestlers trying to make the other submit and admit the other better man. An I Quit match will involve people quitting, but it's a fight. And that's what this match is. It is like a fight from right from the start, as Knoble's coming down the ring and Anderson gets him from behind, and from there the fight is on. Anderson basically, takes him, they fight down the long ramp in the Georgia Dome, down to the ring, and the fight is on right from there. Big battling, brawling, kicking, punching, big boots, Anderson playing sort of the cocky, bigger face, throwing Knoble around. Knoble eventually goes low, and he goes directly after Anderson's knee, taking him apart, working on him, hitting a bit, using his strength to get Anderson up in a big sort of capture suplex, and then going right after his knees again. Knees, knee drops, leg locks, knee locks, just working on Anderson's knee, trying to take it away from him, but Anderson fights back. Match eventually goes to the outside, goes over the ringside table. Anderson, wallops him with, wallops him with a chair. Knoble wallops Anderson with a chair at ringside, knocks him down, takes some cable to ringside, and actually locks Anderson in a sort of crossface with the wires. Anderson eventually powers out, though, throws, gets Knoble up and sort of drops him into the crowd. Fight goes into the crowd a bit. They make it to the backstage area, throw some stuff at each other. We get Knoble sending Anderson into some random pipes and stuff, and just walloping with him, telling him to quit. Anderson fights back, though. Match gets, we see Knoble still in control as we're getting late here in the match. Anderson actually hits a few big suplexes and tries to lock in the trailer hitch, but Anderson, reverses, fights out of it at the last second. Knoble charges him. Anderson gets out of the way. Knoble runs right into the corner. Knoble picks him up, hits the Green Bay plunge, but he's not over with him yet. And as Knoble slowly gets up, Anderson grabs the chair that's been ringside and just begins to wallop Knoble, once, twice, 3 times, as the crowd chants for another time, 4 times, 5 times. And as he goes for a 6th time, Knoble calls off, says I quit, and the match is over, as Ken Anderson has got the big win here at the Great American Bash over Jamie Knoble in a 77. Match was probably better than it should have been because we're in the Southeast, and of course Anderson was in our Dev Fed, that's in the Southeast, so he's more over here, which I think is again, it started with Dev Feds that eventually get more popular. I'm not going to rank here, but still, I'm happy with it. 77, big win. Knoble gets an 83, Anderson gets a 74, and yeah, just a big win here for Ken Anderson on Great American Bash, and he, like Paul London, might be another person taking the next level up as we're heading towards Mayhem and the fall and everything else. And yeah, post-match, Anderson stands tall as this gets a 74. Next up is a big women's tag title match, as we have, of course, the defending champions, European Disunion, who has sort of dominated the division since it was created, taking on the tag team of Celine Cartier and All That Alyssa Anderson. Anderson, of course, came up to WCW a couple months ago, and immediately became a big part of the division. And now she's Cartier's partner here to take on European Disunion. And this match was made after Cartier defeated Nikita Colt. And this is a big match here. And it's not quite the wildness of the past 2 matches. It's not quite the high spot of the first match, or the sort of I don't want to say heat base match that the other one was, or even the wildness that I equipped. This is 4 very, very competent wrestlers, and that's where the story of the match here is. These women, they don't like each other, but they're also not what's the word I'm looking for? This is also isn't a blood feud. This is European Union, who believe they're the rightful champions, the best women's tag team in the world, and hell, they might be right at this point. Taking on Cartier, who's a former women's champion, just lost 2 shots at the championship, and a young wrestler like Anderson trying to rise to the top. And it's a obviously, European Union, take their opportunities, take advantage. But so far, like, it's very good just for women wrestling in that ring. Anderson hitting her spine busters, hitting some suplexes. Cartier doing her brawling, falling all over, her strong style, big elbows, big punches. We see music trying to wrap them up in holds. Nikita Colt doing her sort of like, mixtures of stuff, trying to lock in, call it into submissions. And it's a back and forth match, but eventually what becomes very, very clear is, Cartier and Anderson are both very good wrestlers, but European Disunion are a well team, and this is what happens late as Cartier almost gets to Sleeve Duvet, but the Colt turns it into a reverse DDT at the last moment, and Colt locks in her submission hold, but Cartier does fight out of it. She hits a few big moves afterwards, and actually tags in Anderson. And Anderson is a house of fire, but eventually Busick and Colt get her locked in the corner, and Cartier is still recovering from being in the hold. And after basically a bit of going right to the fives, but eventually Colt has Anderson right in the middle of the ring, slaps on the submission hold, and for her to go, Alyssa Anderson just has to submit clean. As it's a big win for European Union as they make defense number 2 of their women's tag titles here at Great American Bash in a 69. Nice. 60 minutes, and again, the women, because of all the wrestling they've been doing down in the Dev Fed, they all have very good psychology, which is very interesting for an alternate 2005. Anyway, this goes a little over 16 minutes. Like I said, Colt submits Alexander, 69 overall. Alexander gets a 49. Cartier gets a 73. Busick gets a 54. Colt gets a 69. And a big win here for the, for our women's tag team champions. As European Union, cockily celebrate with the titles for 66. As the Empress put over, that there might be a possibility that, nobody can stop them as the current WCW women's tag team champions. And then after that, we have a backstage segment where Kaden Sharp, comes into Teddy Long's office and says basically, it is an insult that I'm not on the show tonight. That you did not let me explain the path to all of these 40,000 Georgians who obviously need an education on what to do right his life because they're here. He's like, player, you didn't make your chance. You had plenty of opportunities and you didn't make them. Hell, you got involved with Roxy and he messed your life up. But you want a match? Fine. On Revolution, playa, you get in the ring with Roxy and then you prove yourself. Sharp says, fine. In a few days, everyone will have to follow me on the path. 70, decent promo. That has nothing to do with making sure Sharp isn't unhappy and, has bad morale. Not at all. And next up is a big match as America's Most Wanted get their chances at revenge against Storm and Awesome, of course, at Assault of Anarchy. So Storm and Awesome walked out with the WCW World Tag Team Championships, and now AEW get their revenge, or get their chance at revenge in a one-on-one match. And this is a very great match. This is two perfectly oiled teams. America's Wanted obviously are the team that rose to the top here quickly as they showed up in WCW, 3-time world champions. But Storm and Awesome are sort of the foundation of the division. Also 3-time tag team champions, I believe. And, these are just, obviously Storm and Awesome are the heels here. And they're using every advantage they have. A runner distracting, quick tags, cheating, Storm tripping up people, keeping people in holds. Awesome just coming in, breaking up pins. But AEW, they hit their double teams, double suplexes, double DDTs, versions of the divorce court, backdrops into power bombs on Storms, double super kicks, dive topes by both men, big brawling, and this is just two teams at the height of their powers going right after each other. So eventually, we hit some big bombs. Storm hits the big super kick on Harris, almost gets a pinfall, locks in cannon leaf. James Storm comes in, hits him with a big springboard for him to knock him away. Brawl happens. Awesome goes for the Awesome Bomb on Harris, but he gets out after the last possible second. Storm comes in. James Storm comes in, hits a huge 8-second ride on Mike Awesome, but Lance Storm makes a save at the last possible second. The brawl continues. Storm Lance and Awesom toss Harris to the outside. James Storm, use the brawl. Awesom hits a huge plancha on Harris on the outside. Storm and Storm fight in the ring, eventually to the outside. Storm hits a big super kick on Lance, and then throws him over, into the ringside post. Harris comes in, slides in, Awesom asks for him. Awesom is going for the Awesom bomb, and Storm is ready for him and drills him with a big running boot, ending the hold. They actually go. Harris actually hits a modified catatonic on Awesom, but as he's getting up, Lance Storm comes in from behind, super kicks in the back of the head. James goes after Lance. Lance tosses him to the outside. Baseball slide. Awesom recovers, picks up Chris Harris. Boot. Awesom bomb. 1, 2, 3, and your winners. And still, WCW World Tag Team Champions are Mike Awesom and Lance Storm. So yeah, 86, really freaking good match. James Storm gets an 85. Chris Harris gets a 78. Lance Storm gets a friggin' 91. Mike Awesom gets an 88. Really great stuff here. As, basically, it is what it is. Like, A&W got their rematch here, but, now they're, that's it. Awesom and Storm will now, I guess, move on to Bash at the Beach against whoever comes out as, I guess it's Helms and Tomko, which is going to be a heel versus heel match, which will be interesting how I book it. But yeah, big win for Awesom Storm as they celebrate with the titles, standing tall with Abra Hunter, as youngsters put over that's one victory for the Triumvirate tonight. And of course, if Billy Kidman keeps the world title, they'll still be walking out here with 4 sets of belts. And then we have the commercial for, of course, the Mayhem pay-per-view, which is coming up in August. It's our next cross-brand pay-per-view. It'll have the Mayhem tournament as is tradition. And, basically the video puts over that, all the winners, Rob Van Dam, Sean O'Hare, Billy Kidman, have all ended up as the world champion. So will the next person be as well? As this gets a 73. And then it's time for our, I guess you could say we have 3 main events on the show if I really wanted to push it. But first, of our really big matches here, as it's time for the Iron Woman match. As first comes out the challenger, Tricia Skye, to the cheers of the crowd. And then out comes Gail Kim to the cheers of the crowd. And it's time, as they both face off, the entrance put over 30 minutes. Whoever gets the most falls, 5-minute overtime session. If there is no falls, and then after that, it's sudden death. And what happens is these 2 women putting on a goddamn clinic. Like, it's not a perfect match. It's still, honestly, I have no doubt it's the first time either women have gone 30 minutes, but they've both been training. They've both, been ready for this, getting ready, and all, Tricia's has turned into a great wrestler. Gail Kim, of course, has risen to the top here in the WCW Women's Division, and it's 2 of the best going right each after. And here's the thing. Gail Kim sort of goes for Tricia Skye goes for the kill shot early, like actually going right after Gail, and like within the first minute going for the sky's the limit, Gail Kim turns into a powerbomb, which is a near fall of her own, and from there the match is on. Basically, match is very basic after that for the next couple minutes, but eventually Gail takes over, and after about 8 minutes, hits a big eat defeat after a few big moves, and gets the first pinfall here and takes the lead 1-0. But Tricia Skye takes the fight right back, and actually doesn't even get the next pinfall to Sky's Limit. Like, after hitting a big German suplex, she actually hits a big pile driver on Gail Kim and gets the next pinfall after about 13 minutes. Things go to another level at that point. Gail Kim firing big shots, forearms, drop kicks, knees. Tricia Skye comes back with her own brawling. Skye goes for a big Northern Light suplex, which gets a near fall. Kim turns into a bridge, which gets another near fall. Gail Kim hits a Tiger Bomb, which gets her into a Rana by Skye. Skye almost gets a pinfall off of there, but Skye gets sent into the turnbuckle by Gail Kim, who turns it into a sliced bread number 2. And then Kim goes for the eat defeat, but Tricia gets out of the way at the last possible second. And then Tricia Skye actually locks her into a big, goes and picks her up, turns her over into a big pop from the crowd, because she's Canadian, goes for the sharpshooter, but Gail Kim is ready, pulls her in, cradles her, 1, 2, holds the tights, 2-1. Big pin. As about 19-20 minutes in, Gail Kim has a near advantage. Tricia Skye's pissed, which actually makes, allows Gail Kim to take advantage as Tricia Skye goes right after her. But Gail Kim is ready, to take advantage. But then Gail Kim goes for a big dive on the outside as Tricia Skye is out there. But Tricia gets out of the way. Gail Kim eats the ring apron. Tricia quickly takes over, hits her with a bulldog on the outside, sends her back in the ring. Sky's the limit. 2 falls, all even after about 23-24 minutes, and then they just go right after each other. But then it looks like Gail Kim has the victory as she nails the Eat Defeat, but Tricia Skye kicks out at 2.9. So Gail Kim goes up top again, but Tricia Skye's ready for her, goes up top, shakes the ropes. Tricia goes up top, hits a huge top rope superplex, then hits the Eat Defeat. 1, 2, 3, and then she has a minute, and from there she just has to play defense. Gail Kim is going all out at her, and hitting several big moves, but Skye tries to hold her off, and then Skye actually gets locked into a submission right in the middle of the ring, and for the last 30 seconds, she just has to hold out until the bell rings. It looks like she's about to pass out, but the ring announcer makes the official declaration, winning 3 falls to 2, your winner and new Women's World Champion, Gail Kim. So yeah, 91, really good match. Gail gets an 86, Tricia gets an 86. Lack psychology, again, 30 minutes, I guess, slowly building in a match. Yeah, again, they both have pretty good psychology. Did I have them call it? Yeah, I had them both call me because they both have close to 80 psychology. So I decided to risk it. Maybe if I would have had Johnny Ace fully take over things, but still, I wanted to risk it, and it did work really freaking well. As Tricia Skye slowly gets up, getting helped up by the referee. She takes the belt and she holds it to the crowd. As she's put over, what a great moment this is for women's wrestling here in WCW. As Tricia Skye has won the WCW Women's World Championship to a big pop, as this gets a 74. Fun stuff. Next up is a huge match involving 4 big stars with huge consequences, as it's AJ Styles, Chuck Palumbo, Monty Brown, and Rob Van Dam. And a huge match for, of course, whoever gets the pinfall will be the number 1 seed in the Mayhem tournament and have a bye in the first round, and the loser will not be as part of the tournament as all. So, of course, Styles, Palumbo, and Monty have all been fighting off and on since basically the beginning of Revolution, along with Booker. But Booker, of course, is the number 1 contender going after Kidman later tonight, and of course, RVD is now a part of Revolution after finally, losing his rematch against Billy Kidman at the last show in 2 out of 3 falls. He's now a part of the Revolution roster, as of course, how the draft works. If the champion loses the title, they go on the show that the person was on. And, he's been, a bit off kilter, very involved with his own business, on a lot of phone calls, has some tension with AJ Styles as they be teaming up. And eventually things broke down, all 4 men thinking they want to be the leader of Revolution. And Teddy Long made this match determine who is truly the leader of Revolution going into the summer and the fall. And from the start, these all 4 men know what the price is, so they're going the hell after each other. And it's a battle right from the start. I imagine it's a few big moves right from the start. Monty, I can imagine getting in the ring as soon as the bell rings, going right after AJ Styles and dropping him with a pounce and getting a near fall before Palumbo and RV sort of realize what's going on, and then Palumbo picking up RVD, and going. Not RVD immediately hitting Palumbo with a rolling thunder for a near fall, only to walk into a forearm from Styles. And then Palumbo going for a full throttle on AJ, but Monty Brown attacking him from behind, and we get a bit of heel fighting right from the start. RVD, them brawling to the outside, RVD hitting a big dive on both of them, then AJ hitting his own big dive on both of them, leading to Styles and RVD facing off in the ring. Friendly, but very fierce competition as they both hit some big moves on each other. Backdrops, suplexes, big, super kicks, tornado DDT, until Styles actually hits a big sort of second rope sunset powerbomb, only for Monty Brown to come in, break it up, throw RVD out of the ring, throw AJ around, press slam, big boot, suplex, lariat, big slam, and getting ready for the pounce, only for Palumbo to pull him out of the ring, and then Palumbo to slide in the ring, go after Styles, but that gives Styles enough time to recover as he plays possum, and as Palumbo picks him up for the full throttle. AJ turns it into a sort of like roll up for a near fall, and then he tries to pull him into the Styles Clash, and he almost has it when he gets drilled with a springboard dropkick from RVD, who again sends AJ to the outside, hits Rolling Thunder, goes up top for the 5-star frog splash, but Palumbo's ready for him, has the knees up, things break down again to a 4-way, all 4 men going after each other, fighting, hitting moves, breaking up, move, break up, move, break up. Eventually, the Palumbo and Barney Brown work together for a little bit, really beating down on RVD, hitting, double suplex, lariat, just pounding the crap out of him as AJ recovers outside, still with a little bit of a limp from his attack from Monty Brown almost a month ago back. But we see Brown pick up RVD, running power slam. Palumbo drops him with a big knee drop and picks him up for the Palumbo's Pride. Drops him with that, but then of course they begin to fight over who's going to get the pinfall. That allows AJ to come in for the save. Hot taking from there. RVD rolls out to the outside, recovering. Back and forth. Eventually, Styles hits the Styles Clash on Monty Brown, but Monty Brown actually kicks out right before 3, and AJ Styles is shocked. That allows Brown to go back on offense. Hitting the pounce on AJ, but then walking right into a full throttle from Monty Brown. From Chuck Palumbo. Palumbo goes over to pin Styles, but RVD has recovered and hits the 5-star frog splash on both men. All 4 men are down. Brown's on the outside. AJ, RVD, and Palumbo slowly get up. AJ goes to the outside. Springboard. Palumbo gets out of the way. Drilled with a phenomenal forearm is RVD. Palumbo, recovers, drops AJ with a big boot, sends him outside, picks up Rob Van Dam, full throttle, 1, 2, no saves happening. Your winner and number 1 seed in Mayhem tournament is Chuck Palumbo, and the man knocked out is a former winner, Rob Van Dam. A great match, 94. AJ gets a 91, Monty Brown gets an 84, Chuck Palumbo gets a 90, Rob Van Dam gets a 93, and yeah, this is a big moment as Chuck Palumbo will be, he'll have a bye in the first round, a huge victory for him, and Rob Van Dam is just not part of it, former world champion, former winner of the Mayhem tournament, and as a result, he's not happy. Palumbo is celebrating, Brown slowly gets yelled outside, and RVD, talks to the ref, tries to explain what happened. Ref, points that he won the match. RVD pushes him down, walks away, as he's shaking his head. And he gets to the top ramp, and he looks over things, upset and disgusted, then walks to the back. As the announcers put over, a huge moment here tonight at Great American Bash, as Chuck Palumbo makes his statement as the possible, top guy in Revolution outside the world champion, whether that's going to be Booker or Kidman, which is coming up next. And first, Booker T comes out with Sharmell, 82, big pop for the former six-time world champion. And then out comes Billy Kidman, 81, as it's now time for these 2 men to battle for the WCW World Championship. And these 2 men do go after each other. Booker, of course, is, one of the best wrestlers in WCW history, Insanely amount of time tag team champion, former TV champion, former US champion, 6-time world champion like the one over, even sort of the standard bearers of WCW in this new era. And of course, Kidman has risen up, was sort of tossed away, part of the New Blood angle, but slowly rose to the top. First with Ray Jr., turned on him, came bastard heel, longtime US champion, won the Mayhem tournament when no one expected it, and of course stunned the world by, basically calling his shot on Rob Van Dam and becoming the champion, and despite protestations of many people, winning the 2 out of 3 falls match at Slamboree. Now he's walking into up against Booker, and these two men go right after each other. But it's two top tier wrestlers going after each other. It doesn't have quite the heat or the story of Kidman RVD, so it's not quite as good there. But it's two men, fighting. Kidman uses some underhand tactics, keeping control early. Booker eventually fighting him off, taking over, some big power moves. Big sidewalk slam, gut wrench power bomb, pump handle slam to take advantage. Wearing down the back and neck of Kidman, but Kidman fights back. Low blow, DDT, hammer, long hammerlock, long half Nelson. Working on the neck himself, pinning a big, Northern Light suplex, Tiger suplex on Booker, barely, but Kidman's still getting up. But you slowly, consistently, machine-like taking down Booker T, but Booker T fights back. Kidman goes for the Kid Crusher, but Booker T powers out of it, hits a few big moves, gets knocked down, does a spinneroonie to a pop, nails Kidman with a big lariat, picks him up, fall away slam, axe kick as Kidman's slow to get up, picks him up for the bookend, but Kidman elbows out of it. Kidman fights back, sends Booker T to the outside. They fight. The two women face off. Sharmell and April Hunter probably get a cat fight spot in because this is 2005. Booker throws Kidman over the announcer's table. Tenay and Savage scatter. They fight over. I imagine Booker actually going for the grabbing Kidman, taking him up, bookend through the announcer table as now it's shattered, slowly sending Kidman in. Went for another bookend, but Kidman goes low to take advantage. Cradle for a near fall. Couple big, knee strikes, DDTs, suplexes from Kidman to take things back over. But he's at a disadvantage here. Booker seems to have his number as Kidman goes for the Kid Crusher again, but Booker again powers out of it, brings him in almost Okada style into a bookend. But again, as Booker is picking him up, Kidman sort of shifts his weight over. Ref bump. Booker goes to help the ref. April Hunter scatters over, grabs the WC World Championship off the ringside table, throws it over to Kidman before Sharmell can stop her. Booker turns around, whap, with the title belt, and then Kidman picks him up. Boom, Kid Crusher on the title belt as the referee recovers. 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still WC World Champion is Billy Kidman. So yeah, not as quite as good as his match with RVD last month, but still a very good world title match here as it gets an 86. Kidman gets an 88 or 89. Booker gets an 88, and let me just see here. Slow build, hot crowd. Yeah, just the announcing, I guess. So this could have been an 88, 89 without the announcing ding. And post-match, of course, Booker, goes to the back with Sharmell. Out comes Awesom and Storm. And once again, the triumvirate stand tall in the pay-per-view. 87. And overall, for a show, we have a 90. Great stuff. Show did not result in any popularity changes. That's how over we are right now. Okay, so, honestly, just, Gail and Tricia, you pushed WCW Women's Wrestling in this timeline 10 years forward of where it should be. And honestly, blame Storm. Well, okay, did any of the women, let's give it to Jamie Knoble as a good example. So there's a show, like a really good show. Like I'm slightly disappointed in the main event. I was hoping like that could be like a 90, just like Kidman and RVD was, but what can you do? Like the 4-way outstripped my expectations. Same thing with women's match. Like I was expecting like mid 80s for the women's match, honestly. And the tag match was really great also. Like really those are like 4 like banger after banger there. And the lower card was good too. Like I honestly forgot that Anderson would be more over in the Southeast because of his because of the dev where the dev fed is, so that was nice. 6-woman tag was it was there. London Cash was a little disappointing because they did an 85, but I guess it was a longer match. Let's see what else is there to talk about. Women's tag was what it was, like, and that was sort of like the storyline. It was defense, doing something with Cartier and Alyssa, and yeah, and then so let's see here. What mantle do we have? Is anybody going to be very unhappy about anything? Let's see here. Right. Okay. So no. Okay. So we just. Oh yeah. Also, a couple things I forgot to mention. Well, Luger's gone. Eric Bischoff didn't sign him again. AJ is now muscular. So hey, really looking like a star. Let's see here. Money and Lance want some time off. Well, don't worry, guys. And yeah, need to do some stuff with our TV deals. I just want to make sure that with AJ, let's see here. Let's take a look at your star quality, buddy. Okay, star quality. Okay, I mean up 2 points. Yeah, like I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, he's fucking fantastic in the ring. It's just like slightly maybe not quite there as a top guy. But yeah, we got a 90, so that was like, a freaking great show. Actually, let me just go to my events real quick if I want to see here. Okay, so yeah, just as good. So like with split shows, we're doing shows just as good as we did with full. So that's a good sign. But yeah, let's look at some. Actually, let me look at some stuff first. So let's do a quick post-show check of some overness of folks. So let's first start with our, let's see here, perceptions, major stars. So AJ, let's see here. After that, I'm going to guess, yeah, like AJ's actually like in main event now. Did Booker lose a lot from dropping the? Let's see here. No, Booker's just as over as he always is. Yes. Chuck Palumbo, are you back in? Yeah, you're as like, yeah, top tier 90 guy. Gail Kim, hey, look at you. So yeah, I mean, this might be your cap, unfortunately. Monty Brown. Okay, yeah, and also, that's unfortunate if 84 is your cap, buddy. Paul London gets a point or so. Rob Van Dam, did you get hurt a lot by that loss? Let's see here. No, actually, you gained a point. And then we got Tricia Skye, who I think, yeah, she gained a little bit. So there we go. And we'll check on our champs here in a second. Let's see here. Stars. Did Harrison Storm lose a lot by losing? No. Okay. I mean, yeah. Upside of great matches, you actually gain some popularity. So yeah, Storm and Harris, very good. 76 might be his pop cap, unfortunately. Knoble, let's see. Did you lose a lot by lose? No, you lost 2 points. Not a huge deal. Let's see here. Well known. Whoops, that's a spoiler that I hope only a few people saw. Well, if you got this far in, you sort of deserve, like, you're a smart fan reading the sheets or listening to a early Meltzer Figure 4 show. Anyway, Cash, let's see, did you lose? Nah, you're fine. Think Cartier, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, that's about where she's been. Let's see here. Nikita Colt, who's weirdly over in the Southwest. Like, she's like super over there. Let's see here. Let's see, is there anybody else who I care about? Yeah. Oh, that's the thing I want to check. So Angel is like 49s, 50s, 50s. Okay, so then if we go to Lexi James, who's not okay. So that's very interesting. Okay, I guess like that's that is weird. That he's like 10 points. That's that is very weird to me because I haven't booked them that differently. Let's see how much of a pop like Trump did. Okay, good solid stuff here. Like, yeah, see, here's the difference. He's 76 in Southeast and mid 50s, 60s everywhere else. So that's sort of like the difference there. Is there anybody else I really care about overness wise? Not really. Like, yeah. Desiree, like she's not really over at all, except in the Southwest. So there you go. But yeah, that should be it. And she comes in as a spark plug, which is great, and as a heel. So there you go. And she has good stats. Like she has good technical, flashiness, psychology, acting star quality is not the best, good sex appeal. So yeah, I don't know what she's going to be like a long term, I guess, top tier part of the roster, but like she's very solid. But yeah, there we are. If we look at our storylines, Revolution's Beautiful Violence is at a 57. Booker Steps In is at an 86. Cashing Out of London is at an 82. Disunion Orders at a 69. Level of Jerks at an 84. After Our Blows Off, Revolution Rising's at a 93. Triumvirate Rising's at an 86. Who's in Charge is at a 91. And this is, yeah, it is where it is. And our champions. After tonight, still your World Television Champion is Lance Storm. Still your United States Champion, of course, is Mike Awesome. And your 3-time World Champions is Storm and Awesome. And your World Tag Champion is still European Disunion, the first and only. And your now 2-time Women's World Champion is Tricia Skye. And your new and still your World Champion is Billy Kidman. Let's see here. Anything else of really note to show you guys? Not really. Yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed the show, go and give it a like. Comment below what you're liking and not liking. And of course, subscribe to the channel for plenty of other TEW 2020 content. And also some Creators to Kings 3 content, Victoria 3, Journey Wrestling, and now some Basketball GM, and I'm sure other stuff that might pop up. But hey, that's it for now. Talk to you later. Oh, wait, I totally forgot. Oops. Okay, you'll have to live through this. As far as the main tournament goes, of course, I will be doing, as usual, my predictions contest, but I'll go into more over that on Nitro. I might also do an announcement as a post, and then do it also in a video. So if you find the post first, you might sort of get a bonus slight leg up, as there might be some spoilers. So anyway, regardless, again, comment, subscribe, all that good fuss, all that good stuff. But talk later, and adios. Have a good one.